Welcome to Think Tank with Scott and Will.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Will. Now today we're going to be talking about the king within. This is an idea Scott and I have personally created.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because a lot of you people have been talking to us about problems that you've had with women, or pursuits of women, self-confidence, going out and getting the things that you want, changing your life, things like that. A lot of it comes into motivational speaking, and we've created a philosophy that we can talk to you about behind it all.
Yeah, well, a roadmap, essentially.
All right, so the king within. Scott, would you like to start us off with taking the mantle and get into the background of the idea, and then we'll get into some examples, and then we'll get into the idea?
Yeah, not a problem. We'll take it away. Well, predominantly the people who have been speaking to both of us have been William. Guys have been asking, all right, William, I'm looking for some more self-confidence. Will's a self-confident guy, and I'd like to use what we've been talking about to help me overcome the barriers I've implemented on myself and to speak more with women. So we've sort of taken this and put it in a
that was
broader...
beautiful, man. That was really
you.
Well done. I can feel convinced of my own idea.
Well, you gotta have faith. You gotta carry the torch.
No, bang, bones in that
all right,
shit.
Let's bones it. Right.
But yeah, let's get back to it. Yeah.
But I almost lost the train there. But yeah, so what it is we've taken, especially what people were saying to Will about self-confidence, and we've sort of taken it into a broader framework, a philosophical bunch of ideas, and we've called it the king within. Now, the thing is, you don't become a king except by toil and work. And the idea is, whoever you are now, let's even put a stage or two in it, because why not? You could be a squire, you could be the knight errant that's questing out to become a lord, to become the king, or you might almost be the king there, but you just need a bit more work. But it doesn't matter. Whatever stage you are, you know where you're at as a person, where your self-development is at the moment. The idea is you make a conscious choice to take up the mantle of a king. You choose to bear the crown and all the burdens that come with it, and get out there and become the king that each of you have inside.
That's it. In a couple of our other videos, I think it was 2 of them, maybe it was even last week's video, we spoke a little bit about Plato's Rule of Forms. I like to think of it sort of like the best form of whoever you are is closely associated with the king within.
Okay.
It is you in a really, really high form of yourself.
Okay. So what you're saying is sort of there's archetypes, right? You've got your own internal archetypes. There's archetypes in the world. You're choosing to associate more with the archetype of mastery of self.
Yeah. And it does come into play with
bigger and muscular and with a crown, or looking svelte and vodka barbarian queen if you're a lady, because you gotta be a badass. You gotta be a badass. It's you being a badass.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about like Uber Mesh a little bit too. It's like the Overman or the Ultimate Man. It's a similar sort of idea. You can be the pussy who sits in like the magic zone, or you can be the go-getter. Now, the magic zone's an idea I came up with. It's sort of like, because a lot of you guys have been doing it, magic zone is when you're with a woman, like you like this girl, or you like this guy, or you like this whatever, and you don't have the self-confidence or I don't even know if it's self-confidence. There's probably a pile of other things on top of it.
Always is.
But yeah, that's what I think. But I'm going to use the word self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the confidence to go up to her and be like, or him, and be like, bam, dude, babes, we're going on a date, or whatever, So you sit in the magic zone where you hope that a magician's going to come by, snap his fingers, and you two just happen to fall in love for the rest of your life.
Yeah, well,
magic zone.
It's sort of like you're in some romantic comedy, and you're the guy that's always been there and always done the right thing, and you're waiting for life to suddenly throw you this perfect opportunity where this lady's going to fall madly in love with you.
But that's the thing, man. It doesn't happen. Life doesn't throw you opportunities. You throw yourself opportunities.
No, the thing is, life throws you opportunities, but you need to be at the state you are as a person to take those opportunities.
Yeah, actually, that's a better way of putting it.
Good way of putting this. I can't remember the exact quotation, but when life throws you the opportunity, throws you the ball, you need to be ready to catch it. There's no second chance of opportunity.
That's it.
You only get one shot. If you want to do Eminem.
Yeah, that's it. That's man.
It.
And you can just piss your pants on the spot, or you can do the best shot and miss or get it in. Right? If you miss the shot, at least you took it.
That's it, man. You have to do the groundwork as a person now, or have done the groundwork in the past. So when that opportunity arises, you're ready to take it.
Yeah. So that's like, I'll give you an example. I'm not going to name names or anything, but I was telling Scott this story before, and he was like, "Bam! That's it. That's the thing." So I'm going to tell you guys.
Okay.
I had a buddy, and he was in the magic zone. I told him, "Get out of the magic zone." And it's like, "Well, how?" I'm like, "Look, man." I explained it to him like this. I said, "You can either be the guy who sits around and waits for something to happen, or you can take control, and you can do something about it." And a lot of people are like, they don't like taking control because, okay, when we really, really break it down, it's like you like him or you like her, but you know that there's a good chance if you ask them out or ask them to coffee or whatever, they say no. So you don't, because you like those warm feelings that, you mooch off them, sort of thing.
That's it. You don't want rejection. You don't want to offer yourself up and have it be cast down.
Yeah, and even then, you can't show up to wherever they are or wherever you both happen to be and get that warm feeling of, oh, I've got a crush on this person, because you know that it's done.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, man, we all kind of like that a little bit,
Yeah.
But if you take the step and you're like, hey, look, do you want to grab a coffee? And they say no, bam, you have your, what's the word I'm looking for, Scott? Is it closure?
Yeah, well, you have an opportunity for growth, is the way I put it. But you've had your dream, you've had your thought, you've attempted it, and that doesn't guarantee success. But you've taken an opportunity, you've created an opportunity, and that's all you can do.
Well, yeah. If even if it doesn't go your way, you still grow from it. Like, you probably grow even more from it.
That's it. There's a excellent ebook by Julian Smith. Honestly, everyone listening here, download it. Seriously. Julian Smith, The Flinch. I need to give you a copy of this, Phil.
I've heard a little bit of it. I hear it's amazing.
Seriously.
Yeah?
If you're having a problem with women, this is directly applicable. Because what you realize is, okay, you create a blanket, a cocoon for yourself that goes, okay, this hurts. This situation is painful. I'm going to move away.
That's it.
I'm going to choose to protect myself. And the only way you can really learn lessons is getting in there and getting your hands dirty. It's a physical lesson. You're bearing the results on your own body almost,
Yeah.
It's the difference between a kid playing on the monkey bars and skinning their knee and a kid watching the kid playing on the monkey bars and thinking, that's going to hurt, I won't do it.
That's it. Yeah, you can have a lot of fun on the monkey bars, but there's like a 1 in 10 chance that you skid your knee.
That's okay.
Like,
but you just dust yourself off like a kid does and try again.
And then that kid knows that he's got to be a little bit more careful with his footing. Or he needs to be a little bit more careful when he does that little monkey hoop swing that he does.
That's it. But it doesn't mean you stop playing on the monkey bars.
Yeah, exactly. And if he didn't fall, he wouldn't have known how to fix it. That's very important. If you don't talk to these women, like when you're 16 years old and you never talk to that woman, or when you're a 16-year-old woman and you never go up and approach that guy.
Yeah, or let him know you're interested, to give him an opportunity.
Yeah, if you never take action, like you were saying, take action on it. If you never take action on it, when you become like a 32-year-old lady, you're going to be looking at a guy in the office who's like, he's hot, and you want to like.
You want to get me some of that.
You want to get me some of that. But then you sit there and you're like, I'm going to sit in the magic zone and like just hope that he speaks to me. And then he's in the same situation as you, and he's looking at you, and he's like, she's pretty. I'm going to get me some of that, only if she comes over to me. And then you got two retards with no self-confidence who want each other but won't do it because they don't want to take action for the shit that they feel. And that's virtually it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just pretend that you're a woman.
Okay.
Let's spice things up a bit.
Well, look good in a dress.
You look awful. I've seen it.
That's your opinion.
Let's just pretend you're Scott, and I'm Will. You don't have to pretend too hard because you are Scott.
Oh, usually I am, yeah.
You usually am, except when I'm pretending to be Scott.
That's exactly.
That's it. I'm going to pretend I'm gay or whatever.
Okay.
Well, I don't have to pretend that hard because you are very good looking in a dress.
Thank you.
How am I, like, if let's say I go up to you and I'm like, look, Scott, I find that goatee that you have incredibly attractive. Like, it's so... Oh, well, I'm touching it.
No, you need some shampoo. That's the make it stuff. I told you that.
And I started doing it. Yeah, it's good. Would you like to go get coffee sometime? And then you're like, no, I like girls, man. I'm very much into women.
Yeah.
Well, how am I, like, that's my opportunity to grow. Like, I'm no longer going to be following you around like a lost puppy, because I'm like, oh, Scott's so good looking, you know, like, oh, I'd like to get me some of that piece of candy, you know?
I prefer it if you moved a little bit on with this,
Yeah.
to be honest, right?
Well, the idea is that, like, you grow because you're stepping out of that zone into a zone that you've taken control of.
You've created an opportunity.
Yeah,
There were
that's it.
forces around, there were forces arrayed. You had your fear, you had your potential, and you thought, you know what? I'm going to turn this into an opportunity. It doesn't have to go great.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't have to at all. I mean, you were waiting for life to throw an opportunity at you, and you're like, stuff it. I'm gonna take the opportunity. I'm
gonna stay in the magic zone. I'm gonna stay in the safe area where I can't be hurt. But all the glory and all the great things in life are not in the safe zone of where you are now. You need to take a little tentative foot outside the safe zone, test the waters, and realize it's not as bad as you thought. And then take a big step forward into the life you want to live.
Yeah, that's it, man. Now, before we go on, I want to say we created a video. I think it was our third or fourth video.
Mm-hmm.
Personal growth and development through negative emotions.
That's it.
Listen to it because it's really good. We talk about the eye of the storm and Sharkman, stuff like that. It comes into what we're talking about here a little bit.
That's it. Well, you need to overcome your negative thing to become the king within. You need to master all the features of your environment.
Yeah, that's more like that video in my mind is the response. This is beforehand. This is you doing it, and then if it doesn't go well, that's when you react in that way. You grow from it, but you have to create that situation before you can even respond in any other way.
Yeah.
And like women are a prime example. I mean, it's what you guys keep coming to me talking about. Like even one or two have spoken to me about guys. Like we believe it or not, we do have women who listen to our podcast, guys.
I'm glad to hear it.
So am I. And they've come to me and like, well, you know, how I'm not confident enough. Mm-hmm. Where do I get this confidence from? It's not easy to just walk up to somebody and be like, well, yada 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 yada.
Yeah, it's not easy to leave yourself vulnerable.
No.
Because that's what you're doing. You're taking a chance that people may reject you.
That's it. And a lot of people will just want to be like, okay, I go to TAFE. I'm studying personal training. Mm-hmm. Pretty physical guy. I show up. I'm loud and funny. I wouldn't say act like an idiot. I'm just very, very.
You're jovial. You enjoy. You're a very physical person, and you enjoy.
I have a lot of energy.
You have a lot of energy. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, I do. I have heaps of energy, and I jump around. I joke with people. I try to make people laugh, and that can come across as like overly confident.
Or just excessive.
Yeah, well, I think excessive is a good word, and sometimes I need to tone it back, and I do. But people like look at that and they're like, I can't ever imagine you not being the way that you are now. Are you always confident? Not the case. Not the case at all. I started off from a place where it was like I couldn't talk to random people. It was odd. It made me feel like they were gonna. I don't know. Like, you guys would respond to this really well. Like you get into that situation and you think, oh, all this bad stuff's gonna happen. I'm like, well, what's gonna happen? And you're like, I don't know. All I know is it's bad. You know, your own mind is holding you back.
That's it.
So start small.
It's creating the largest, scariest results.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like it's the fear of the unknown. You know, you don't know about it. You don't know how she's going to react. You don't know what's going to happen if I talk to this person. So your mind picks the scariest options.
That's it. Your mind holds you back. Jules Evans talks about it in his book, Philosophy for Life and Other Dangerous Situations. And there's this one chapter about an Epictetan.
That's
Epictetan idea. Because there's Epicurus and there's Epictetus. It's an Epictetan idea. This guy had confidence issues. Like he just wanted to be able to talk to people. Yeah. He was like anxious. That's the word. He had anxiety. So what he did was he just threw himself into effed up situations. So what he did was he got a pair of boxing gloves, and he went out to a local mall and started shadow boxing in the middle of nowhere. He felt like a complete idiot. He's like, people are looking at me freaking weird, and I feel like a goddamn idiot. But he did it like every single day for a week, and now he's like, he felt the confidence to do whatever he wants to do.
That's it.
Yeah. Personally, I don't think I could do that.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's freaking hard.
Hmm.
You know, it's probably not the sort of crowded mall that you and I are thinking of.
Yeah.
And maybe there was like a boxing studio nearby or something like that, you know.
Hmm.
But it's hard, man.
Well, there's a bit in the book, The Flinch, that covers that as well. I mean, like, there's a couple of things. It's like, here's your real-world example of what you need to do. The first one is, seriously, go to your bathroom. You're having a shower today.
Yeah.
Make it a cold shower.
Yeah, Elliot Hulse.
Walk into the shower. It is hard, man. You don't think it's like, oh, it's just a bit of cold water. But the moment you just full bore cold tap, all right, get in there. You're not having a hot shower. It's completely cold.
Yeah,
and you start to freak out. Your body freaks out.
But it's a mental thing. It's cold for like maybe 10 seconds. And I like having cold showers. I do them a lot now. But it's funny that you should mention that because you're talking about a mental thing.
Yeah.
Whereas it appeals to me in a more physiological sense.
I think it's both. I think mentally you realize that it's just cold water, but then your body starts to shrink away from it physically. It has a physical
that's the
result.
Thing. You know, I mean, mental. We haven't spoken about this, but this is another video I want to make: how mental states create physical states, and how physical states create mental states.
It's all connected.
It is. It's very much connected. You think, oh, the water's cold. I don't want to be in there, and then you get rotation of the shoulder. You become like your extremities come towards the center of your body. It's called mediation, and things like that. But I think everybody should have a cold shower every single day. I mean, you step into the shower when it's hot, and you're like, a nice hot shower. But when you step into a cold shower, oh my God, it's cold. You feel that? Feel that energy? Feel that energy, man? I'm pumped now. Yeah. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. Come on, let's do it. You know? Like, you jump into a cold shower, you get energized. It's not the cold water that's doing it. It's you taking in these deep... It's making your body react in a way that's creating energy. Yeah. And when you tense up and shit like this, you're creating tension in certain muscles and relaxing other muscles. Or you're stretching other muscles. Stretching the upper muscles, the muscle of the upper back as you curve over to cover yourself from the cold water in your front. Things like that. And certain parts of your body are associated with stress. You know, like, you know how you can physically see when a person is, like, stressing the shit out because of their body language? Well, you probably...
even if they are stressing out, it can come in their body anyway. Even if certain muscles get stressed, your shoulders, your back.
Yeah. A lot of it's in the mouth.
Yeah, you get a lot of tightness in your jaw. Your stomach starts to become upset.
When you get angry, I'm not sure what the muscle's called, but it's the flexor muscles of the jaw. Like right here. It's like you get your ears, and you go down from your ears and over the top of your, like, onto the jaw. So you can feel them, you know, it's right near your teeth. Those get really tight. It's like an animalistic response. You get angry, like, you know, like... Yeah, it actually does get tight. And it's been proven that stretching the muscles here in the face out when you're angry actually releases that anger. It helps you calm down more. Elliot Hulse talks about it. I talk a lot about Elliot Hulse because I listen to a lot of his videos, and that's probably why I know a lot about, like, that sort of stuff.
He's got a lot of good pointers. Got a lot of good life advice.
He does. So look, ever since I did that breathing thing, I've got to calm down now. I've got to calm down. But do that when you are approaching a woman or anything in life. Yeah. Going to a job interview, go to the bathroom beforehand.
I did that for a job interview recently.
Yeah?
Because I was smashing. Yeah, I did smash it. I smash every interview I tend to go in because I just don't care. Like, at the end of the day, I mean, I've done jobs where it's me telemarketing people that are going to abuse me. And once you've done so much of that, you've got almost no fear of being insulted. You're almost uninsultable.
You become desensitized.
Well, that's it. Not only that, it's just you realize that you being yelled at, you being abused, that negative situations are not really as negative as they think they're going to be. And I don't know, you get a thicker skin. You just don't care.
And that's why the guy's boxing in the mall. He gets a thicker skin. He does skin. He doesn't care. He realizes it's not so bad.
That's it.
It becomes a badass. He becomes the king. The king starts to come out.
That's it. You realize that situations aren't that bad, and you need to give yourself an opportunity. Like, I suppose my personal example would be, you do that breathing to relax. But really, any job interview, talking to a woman especially, you're just talking to people. You're your own person with your own fears, your own desires, and you're just dealing with another person with their own fears, no desires. They may have a fancy title, they may have a fancy suit, but behind all that, those are just symbols.
Yeah. That's it.
The symbols, titles and symbols. Behind that is a man. Behind that is a woman. And you becoming the king within is realizing yourself as a man, as a woman, and choosing to take on the mantle of the king or the queen, putting that crown on and starting the journey to become the person you want to be.
That's it, bro. I'm going to get back to the story because I realized I didn't finish it. This guy, he was in the magic zone.
Okay.
And yeah, I told him, relax, bro. Breathe.
It's not as bad as you think.
It's not. And he did. He relaxed. He asked her out. He said, "You want to go to this restaurant this time tomorrow night?" And she said, "Yes." Boom, man. Nice. I was so happy, man.
Good.
So he went and she didn't show up. Her choice. Now, there is more to the story, but before I go on, if someone does something like that, it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of them.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to say, oh, they're a bitch. I'm trying to say they've made a decision and they've got their own influences. Like, go back and look at our video of determinism. Causes create effects that affect causes that create effects. So she's affected by something that's probably not even related to you.
Yeah.
I
mean, or if it is, you've been charming enough to convince her that, yes, I want to say yes to this person. I want to go out on this date, but can't go out on this date because maybe she feel anxious.
Yeah.
Maybe you were
maybe she's not queen enough. Like the queen hasn't quite come out to just give
that. I mean, maybe it's just perhaps that she wasn't interested enough to go out on a date with you, but you were so charming when you talked to her that she should just said yes.
In which
that was her initial thought.
Yeah.
But
the fact that she said yes means something positive.
That's it. That's exactly it.
And if she says no, it just means that
that's fine.
Again, it's something that's happening with her. She doesn't want to.
Yeah, you've made to do with you as a person have just made a request of another person, and they've just declined.
Yeah,
you've left with no less than what you started with. If anything, you now have an opportunity to learn more.
That's it. Yeah, and even if she says no because you're ugly or something, she's responding to something that's happening inside her after she's viewed something.
It doesn't even matter if you're ugly.
Yeah, no.
I mean, there are plenty of ugly people with really attractive, intelligent women.
I know a particular woman who is not the most attractive woman. Mm-hmm. However, her personality is so hot.
Yeah,
she's confident.
Yeah, tell me about it.
She's funny. She's go-getter.
I'd take that over looks of either.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. She's really. It's interesting how that works. Like you think that we guys just talk shit. Guys notice that sort of stuff. But anyway, getting back to the story. So he showed up and she didn't. So she stood him up. Poor guy. Felt sorry for him. But I realized it was probably the best thing for him because he learned. Sorry, were you going to say something?
I was going to say, well, I mean, I don't know about the best thing for him, but
it was helpful.
It's another opportunity.
Well, yeah. He learned that whatever happened hasn't got anything. Well, maybe it does have something to do with him, but it doesn't affect him unless he lets it affect him.
That's it.
And he sent me a message saying, "Look, she didn't show up. It's been an hour. Should I send her a message saying, look, why would you lie to me like that? Why would you do this? You think this is how I'm supposed to feel? F this, F that." And I pretty much sent him a message saying, when you look at yourself from the outside and you imagine the best you that you can possibly be, how do you react? And he's like, well, I'd probably sit here, have dinner by myself, and just leave. And just not send her any angry messages and just accept that, look, it just happened.
Yeah.
I said, well, do it then.
That's it.
Do you want to be I find looking at myself from the outside pretty often helps. What's that called? Introspection? Or is that extrospection?
I'm not actually sure. Introspection is what you think of yourself within. I'm not really sure if I've heard a word that fits. When you think of yourself externally. I mean, obviously you're inside your own head, you're inside your own ego, you're seeing things from your perspective. But when you're considering yourself as an individual, as part of a greater whole, rather than the main character of your own story, that's when you get a chance to really think of things in the eyes of the universe. I think, was that a Platonic or a...
Plato.
Was it Plato or Aristotle?
No, I'm pretty sure that was Plato.
Plato?
Aristotle did have good stuff, though.
Just to cover it, the under the eyes of the universe is basically think of yourself as part of the universe. Okay, you're thinking of yourself individually. All right, this is happening to me. This is bad. But in the whole context of the universe, the Earth is still revolving around the sun.
Yeah, Like what a lot of philosophers take.
What ultimate effect is this having as part of a greater whole? Almost nothing. It's a humbling thought, and it puts things in perspective. So some lady, stood you up, didn't come and have dinner with you. That's fine.
You know what I used to do? I read that. Mark Rowland said this from the Under the Eyes of the Universe. Apparently what a lot of philosophers do, or what a lot of philosophers believe Plato was talking about, is you sit there, right? So I'm going to sit right here with you, Scott.
Okay.
I'm going to close my eyes, and I imagine this room. You're sitting there, our recorder's there, and the room's here.
Okay.
Then, I see it from above, like a bird's eye view. And then I see the house. And then I see the property. And then I see the street. And then I see all the street lights along the street. I see some dude running in with his dog. Then I see New South Wales. Then I see Australia. And I start zooming out. And it comes out more and more and more and more and more and more. And you start imagining things like stars and planets and the Milky Way and the whole universe. And then you think, really? Am I going to be offended by this?
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. It's under the eyes of the universe, and the idea behind it's probably not the same idea Plato was trying to get at, but the idea is, as the universe looks down at you, is it going to laugh at how offended you are by that insignificant little thing? Or is it going to be like, it's just him being him?
That's it.
So whenever you're in a situation like that, look under the eyes of the universe. Some lady didn't show up to dinner. Well,
that's small potatoes.
It's small potatoes. It's small.
If anything, you should get yourself a steak dinner with some nice small potatoes, especially if it's a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
Have yourself a steak dinner.
I believe
that's a great opportunity. You got an opportunity for a great steak dinner, and you took it.
You know what? That leads me into a good new point that I think we want to touch on too. Creating opportunities for yourself.
That's most of it.
That is.
I mean, once you have taken the choice to take up the mantle of the king or queen within, you've taken a choice to not take the easy road.
Yeah.
To not take the easy road to the path of least resistance. You've decided for struggle. You've decided to create opportunities for you to become a greater person. You've decided to earn the crown.
A lot of it is just calm down.
Yeah.
Stop taking it personally. We're going to make a video soon about the ego and how to disassociate from the ego. That'll be really good, and you'll understand more what we're talking about now. But it's not affecting you, man. You're you. Just allow yourself to be, because being who you are is enough.
That's it. So many people waste their lives
getting offended by things because, it happened to me.
Yeah. I mean, often a lot of it's just choosing the path that you really want to be. I mean, so many people take the easy option, take the path of least resistance, and get some, corporate middle class kind of job. That's it. Be the shark man, and have a corporate middle class job, and have a midlife crisis as 40, 50, because they realize they just didn't want to do it. That the path they've chosen is the safe one that they never wanted, and just look back on their life with regret, and they freak out.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the chance to choose the life you want to live. I mean, it might not be sensible. It might not be the most profitable life, but really, your happiness is the greatest thing, and you will find a way to monetize and live comfortably off the life you want to live if you've got passion. And you'll have heaps of passion because you've chosen the life that you want to live.
Follow your heart, your head will figure out the rest.
That's exactly it. That's what your head's for.
Yeah, that's what Elliot Hall said. That's straight out of his mouth.
That's what he's been doing. He's a great example of that.
He did. That's it, man. And I lost my train of thought. I can't believe it.
I'll give you another example. Schwarzenegger is another good one for that. Except for the part where he, had a kid with his nanny. I don't know what was up with that. His wife was quite nice.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But, he's a busy man with lots of stresses, so maybe there's some justification somewhere in that. But there's an interview with him as a young bodybuilder. And they're like, so Arnie, what do you want to do with your life? And he's like, well, I want to be a bodybuilder for a while, and then I want to be a movie star, and then I want to get into politics. And he's done all that.
He did it.
So, yeah, he did it.
Boom!
All three. Good man. He knows what he wanted out of life. He chose to not take the path of least resistance and get out there and live his life. And if you want to use a Conan the Barbarian reference, later on he got the crown, because you see it at the end of the movie with his cool sword. He's got the crown.
Sacred of Steel.
That's it, man. He got a chance to become a king.
That's it.
But that's what you do. you don't take the path of least resistance. You choose to take on the burdens, to heavy lies the crown. You choose to take on the crown and get out there and become the greatest person you can be.
Yeah, that's it.
And a lot of that is combating fear when you find it, and realize that
that's exactly it, man.
That all this fear is just your ego, your internal ego trying to protect you from being hurt, from looking silly.
Protect itself, because it makes you believe that it is you.
That's it. It's just trying to protect its own interests. Yeah. And really, your interests are really to get out there and become the best, happiest person you can be.
And what are your interests? How do you find out what your interests are? I mean, like, something... I go to class, something that happened. I'm going to retell another story. I like telling stories because it puts the experience that it actually happened out there.
Well, it's a great example. It's the oldest oral tradition in the book.
Yeah, I'm going to tell some old oral traditions.
Cool.
So I go to class with this chick, real nice chick. Really nice chick.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there, and then I was speaking with her and the teacher at the time. We were having a bro moment. We were having a deep, meaningful, you know? And I said to her, what do you want to do in life? And she said, oh, well, I'd really like to be a Victoria's Secret model.
Cool.
And I said, what's stopping you? Go do it. Make a goddamn Victoria's Secret model resume, put it out to some modeling agencies, and see what you can get, and then go for the Victoria's Secret model job. And she's like, come on, don't be serious. I'm like, no, seriously, do it. Because at least you won't die knowing that you didn't try. That give it the best shot that you have. Like, if you don't get there, well then, boom, who gives a shit? You gave it everything you got. Now you can go off and do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's it. It's not a linear path to success. That's the... I was talking to a psychologist a while ago, actually, having a conversation with her. And one example is often you see the examples of successful people, and they're not taking a linear path. They don't go say, okay, in 40 years, I want to become this person. I want to do this. Because it's too far to keep track of. A lot of track records of people that are successful go, I want to do this. I'd like to try this. I'd like to try this out and do it. And that's the way you be successful, by just doing it. And you realize, let's say she doesn't become a Victoria's Secret model. Maybe she gets a low-level modeling contract and goes, this is sort of fun, but I don't think high-level modeling is the thing for me. I'd like to work in the modeling industry. I'd like to work in the fashion industry. I want to be a fashion reporter. Boom. And then she moves on into that sphere and goes, okay, I can take what I've done as doing a modeling contract and move on to this. You just take what you like doing and keep doing it.
That's it.
And that's the best way to have a life well fulfilled.
I mean, it's an old tale that, you do what you like in life. You wake up, you never have to work a day in your life. Like, people say that all the time. It's a hobby, yeah. But do people really understand it? I don't think so. I think people wake up and they're like, oh yeah, I like my 9-to-5 job. Liking your 9-to-5 job and fucking... I shouldn't have said that. Sorry, guys. And effing quitting your 9-to-5 job to go study something that you're really passionate about in the hopes that something might happen, that's crazy. Well, then go be crazy, build an opportunity, get the confidence to just bang, smack it.
That's it. Don't take the path of least resistance. Don't take the safe path. The safe path is boring and predictable, and you'll end up a boring and predictable person. Because that's the choices that you have chosen.
Just imagine what you want to be like. Like, when I used to suffer from, like, depression and anxiety and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I was on medication because doctors thought I was slow in the head. And don't make a joke, Scott.
Oh, I don't need to. That was the great thing. I don't need to. I can just look at you, and then you'll be like, oh, he's making a joke.
Yeah,
I don't need to make a joke. It's the best thing.
Yeah.
You're an intelligent person, Will. That's why we're having good conversations. I'm not being sarcastic.
Okay, fair enough.
I know, that's my voice, okay? I have the same voice for being sarcastic, but you can blame my dad for that.
Yeah. Anyway, so, what was I saying?
You used to suffer depression and anxiety and slow in the head.
Stop looking at me like that. So, I had this image of the person that I wanted to be. I wanted to be confident. I wanted to be the life of the party. I wanted to show up and make people laugh. I wanted to make friends easy. I wanted to be charismatic. I wanted to be able to just go up to women and just talk to them and not have to think, does she like me or anything? Like, just be able to have friendships with women.
Yeah, I love friendships with women.
Yeah. I get along better now with women than I do men, honestly. I'm a bit of an old soul. It's like, I feel like a grandpa, almost, Yeah. So I had all these images in my mind that's the person that I wanted to be. I was coming from like an introverted place where I was scared. I didn't really like talking to people. I didn't really have friends, and that was a lot of the like depression and stuff. But I had this image of this happy, composed showed up, and it just made people happy, and people like being around this person, and like he helped people, and he had really bad dad jokes that everybody laughed at how bad they were except him. You know, he laughed because he thought they were great. Right. And guess what, man? I have like the handbook on dad jokes now. You know, like I had this image of what I wanted to be, and that was my level 10, as some people say. That was the image of the king within that I had.
Yeah.
So I took the steps, and over a period of months and years, that's the person that I am now.
That's it.
You know, now I have an image of who I want to be, and that's going to be that's the next level.
That's what you do, man. You climb the peak and then find the higher peak once you've done it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't say, okay, in 30 years you want to be this smart, funny guy that people enjoy spending time with. You just go, I want to be that guy, and you take steps to become that guy. When you get there, you go, you know what? I'd like to do this too.
Yeah.
That sounds great. That sounds fulfilling.
That's it.
That gets the blood boiling. You know, that's what you're doing. You're choosing to take up the mantle. You go, this is what I look like when I've got my stuff together. This is the kind of person I want to be, and you're taking that choice. You're doing almost an archetype. You know, you're putting on the crown mentally. I mean, you could just say, I want to do this and do it, but it always helps to visualize. And all of this is visualization. You're visualizing the king within you, and you're getting out there and taking a step as soon as you can to become that person.
I mean, in personal training, we often speak about, like, we ask clients, what's your goal? Like, what do you want? What are you trying to achieve? And they go, oh, I don't know. Well, then how am I supposed to get you there? How are you supposed to, let's just say I got two clients. I got one client who wants to increase his bench press by 100 kilos. Okay. So he knows every single time that he goes to the gym to do chest, he really needs to hammer his strength training on the chest.
Yeah.
Good on him. Every single time he goes, he does a little bit of something to make that better. Now, the other client, I rock up and he's like, what do you want? So he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't really know. I'll figure it out. Well, you got client A, he's rocking up. He knows exactly what he wants.
He's got a goal to work. Yeah. He's visualized his goal.
Yeah, he's visualized it. He knows what he wants, so he's going for it. Person B is just sort of rocking up, doing whatever. He hasn't got a goal. He's not going anywhere. He might get better, but he's not going anywhere, is he?
That's it. And a lot of us are like that still. I mean, I'm still like that. I mean, I know what I need to do for a lot of circumstances, but where I really want to end up, I still haven't discovered it yet.
And once you do, you'll be that guy on the bench press.
That's it. So what you have to do is you've got to visualize, okay, I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to end up. I don't know where to go from here. I don't know how to take up the mantle.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
What you go is, okay, what do you really want to do deeply? Truly and deeply. What do you want to do? Have a think about it. You know?
And it doesn't matter how outrageous it ends up being.
That's
it. Outrageous, take baby steps. Like 100 kilos is outrageous. You know?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get at is an idea that I always do every single day. Every single day when I wake up, I do one thing that progresses me towards my goal. Even if it's
1%.
Like, yeah, 1%.
What you got to do is improve 1%.
Even if that means I brush my teeth in the morning. You know? Even if that means I get up 5 minutes earlier. Even if that means that I start wearing socks that match. I don't wear socks that match.
I think wearing socks that match is just a waste of time.
Yeah. You know, like,
unless they haven't you seen next to each other, then you wear them. Otherwise, you don't go looking for socks.
Exactly. But what I'm trying to say here, guys, is it doesn't have to be something big. Sometimes it could be something stupid. But sometimes those tiny little stupid things are what progress you to where you want to go.
That's it. Life is a collection of moments, a collection of steps. The more you say yes to it, the more you choose to not take the path of least resistance, the more you decide to take up the mantle, the better.
That's it.
I mean, you're giving yourself an opportunity, and that's what it's about. You know, you need to get to where you want to go, where your goal is. You know, if you can't define where your goal is next, I mean, you can always just have this hazy concept of this is who I want to be in the future. This is what a kingly version of me looks like. But maybe a kingly version of you would be the kind of person that brushes their teeth in the morning, has a good breakfast, and goes to work in a great mood.
Yeah.
Well, that gives you a great opportunity. One, your breath is pretty good. Two, you're not hungry when you're in rush hour traffic. And three, you're in a great mood. So whatever you're going to do today is going to end up better.
I'm a morning person. Like, if I go to sleep at 1 a.m., I'll wake up at 6 a.m. without an alarm, ready to hit the world. I'll be tired, but I'm up. And I speak to people who want to get, they ask me, how can I become a morning person like you? And I say, well, you got to just get up. You got to find a reason to get up. And I'm like, I can't. The alarm goes off, and that's it. So I prescribe them ideas that's like, okay, when you get up in the morning, you have to become proactive. You want to become fitter. You want to become healthier. You want to become better. Go for a walk in the morning. Go for a fasted walk. Burn a whole bunch of fat.
Often just look, what do you do the night before? Get a good night's sleep. Or if you're not getting a good night's sleep, pick an alarm that's going to wake you up better in the morning. I found the best way for me to wake up in the morning, as soon as I hear that first alarm, I'm straight out of bed, was a bolt thrower song. You know, it plays in the morning. It's not the song that I would normally listen to, so I don't get sick of it. And I wake up, I'm like, man, I want to run some over with a tank, because that's what their music sounds like. And I'm like, yeah, that's what gets me up in the morning.
I used to listen to Steel Panther as my wake-up song. Death to all but metal.
Oh, yeah.
First thing you wake up to in the morning, you're like, holy crap.
What gets you excited in the morning? That's what you need. Because your body's going to go, no, I want to keep sleeping. I want to drag my feet, you know?
Yeah, but create the opportunity, take control.
It needs to be a positive motivator, not a negative motivator. Your negative motivation is, you know, let's say, oh, okay, I want to do this in the morning. Oh, I don't want to go, but I'm going to get in trouble if I don't go to work. So you can still give you, okay, the minimum I need to get up in the morning, I'm going to need to do 2 snoozes. I can do 2 snoozes. So you take 2 snoozes. What about your positive motivator? I want to get up and have a stretch. You know, I want to enjoy this morning. I want to have time for myself this morning. So you get up. It's a positive thing. Your brain is always better motivated by positive things than negative things. But if you have no positive motivators, find some. But negative motivators will do for now. The least you do is get up. You got up in the morning.
I find you need a combination of the two.
You do.
You need negative motivators because negative motivators push you more than anything in the universe. You need positive motivators to give you like things like goals and aspirations and things that move you to where you want.
I don't know. I find them the opposite. I find positive motivators are the only thing that truly works for me. Negative motivators are just, you know, it's the carrot and the stick.
Well,
you know, the stick, I'll just eventually stop reacting and being hit by a stick. But I really want that carrot.
You don't have the carrot, though.
You don't have the carrot. So you've got to find the carrot. You know, you've got to find that positive motivator for you.
That's it.
And part of that can just be who is, you know, write the stuff down, guys. That's the best way to do it. Write yourself a roadmap. Okay? Here's who I sort of want to be. It's a hazy concept. But just have a think. Just write whatever comes into your mind. This is what you want to be. Okay? Now you've got an idea of what you want to be. So take a step back from that. What do you need to do to get to where you need to be? I need to do these things. What do you need to do these things? I need to do these things. I mean, at the very minimum, you're going to have more of an idea of what you need to do. And that's important. You know, for you to do some self-growth, some self-mastery, to take up the mantle and be who you want to be, it takes work. And you're not always going to have that motivation. And if you've got a hazy idea of what you're going to end up, that's not being very motivating when it becomes crunch time.
No, it doesn't.
But if you just say, okay, what I need to do this morning is have a great breakfast, I need to work out a little bit, I'm going to go talk to that lady today. That's much easier.
Yeah.
It's all these small little steps that build momentum, that travel you along the path to get to the destination you need to get to.
Like, it all applies to life. But in response to the questions about women, it all applies to women too.
It is.
Like, what sort of guy do you want to be? You know, like, what sort of guy do women want? Well, look, I'm going to describe what I believe is a role model human being, and I'm going to describe who is a role model person that women go for. Now, a role model human being is like, you know, he's confident in himself. He's not overly confident, so he's also got a sense of calmness. He's calm.
He's got nothing to prove.
He's got nothing to prove.
He's already proved it.
That's it. He's proved it to himself. He's happy with it. So he's self-content and he's self-confident. Those are two really big things. Respectful and well-spoken. I reckon that is all you need to be a role model, man.
But you know how to sell yourself, I think. That's not an important thing.
True. But then again, boom, that's what women like, man. It's like people are attracted to people who are attracted to themselves. Don't take it the wrong way. Like, when I say attracted to myself, I'm not talking about those dickheads in the gym who, like, you know, almost masturbate to the image of themselves in the mirror. I'm talking about those guys who are like, I'm really happy with who I am, and I've got no problem.
Yeah.
Like, I see people who get rejected by women, or even women who get rejected by men. It actually does happen a lot more than the other way around.
Of course it does.
Like, women will approach a man, or a woman will approach a man, and he's just not interested. The same way that women aren't interested in some men. And so we'll say, look, I'm sorry, I'm just not interested. And they get offended because they take it personally.
Yeah, that's it. It's a reflection on them.
Yeah, as opposed to just a situation that they have to accept. It's a reflection of them. They're not good enough or something like that. And they get offended. They start swearing. And they say, well, you're just a small penis or whatever. You know? Or the guy's like, you're fat. You're not even attractive in the first place. Like, it's not a very good form. It's not a very good color on anybody.
I think it's equally applicable to both, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You know, when someone says no to you, you think it's entirely about you. It's entirely your failings that have caused this to happen. Well, it's not. Maybe she works as an ER nurse and she just had blood on her for the last 15 hours and she's just out for a quiet drink.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually didn't know someone who was in a similar situation, you know? Like, I think someone close to her died. Maybe it was even a family pet that died.
Yeah.
And so she just went out with a couple of friends to a club just to distract herself from it. And, you know, a reasonably attractive guy came up to her and he was like, look, would you let me buy you a drink? And she's like, look, I'm sorry, I'm not really interested. He gets offended. This guy had no idea that her dog died or whatever, and she's upset and she just wants to be distracted, that she's not really interested in anything else right now than just drinking.
Girls go out with other girls because they're in a bad mood. They just want to dance with their friends.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised if 50% of women who are out at the clubs are in that situation. Yeah? Like, you approach a woman, she says no, move on. Take it in stride, because that is what a role model guy does.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's what a king does.
That's it. Someone says no, that's fine.
That's it.
That doesn't mean you're any less worthy as a person.
And if
it's just an opportunity that you took, that you had the balls to take, and they said no. That's fine.
It's okay to feel like embarrassed or a little bit silly.
That's okay.
But you did it.
That's a perfectly natural reaction to be embarrassed, feel a little silly. But that doesn't mean you don't do what you really want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I've said this one before, but it's like you feel embarrassed to put your hands up in class when you're a kid, but the whole school doesn't burn down when you put your hand up.
Yeah, I like that one that you said, yeah. That's it.
It's not as bad as you think it is. I mean, your primitive brain is wired to think, okay, I'm stressed, I'm uncomfortable. Dear God, there's bears in the dark and they're going to kill me. But now there's no bears in the dark because you've got a brightly lit suburb and you're just chilling out at the club. There's no bears in the club.
No, there isn't.
You know, the bears are inside your head. Yeah, that's it. Your bears are inside your head. When you talk to a pretty lady and ask her for a drink, if she says no, she doesn't turn into a werebear and eat your brains.
You're a bumble bear. I've got a pretty bad fear of dogs. I was attacked when I was a little kid, and then I was trying to overcome my fear, and I allowed myself to continue. Like, I saw a dog in a park. It was like a boxer dog. So it wasn't like a little dude. It was reasonably
They're big and solid boxers.
Yeah. And I saw it in a park. I'm like, look, Will, you're going to overcome this fear sometime. So I just kept walking straight towards it, and I was going to walk straight past it. And that dog actually attacked me. And so it really put me back as far as my whole dog situation went, you know? But there's this one little piece of shit that lives across the street from me. It's like a Japanese Shih Tzu. More like Japanese shit soup.
Oh, those things I find they're terrible little dogs. They're so yappy.
Yeah.
It's got tiny. Dog syndrome.
Yeah, it's pretty much a fluffy chihuahua. And like me, I'm a big guy. I'm pretty confident. You know, I go to the gym. I'm a good runner. I'm reasonably fit. And there's this tiny little rat bag across the street barking that makes me feel nervous and uncomfortable. You know? So, like, it's all in your head. Any other person would just walk by and be like, would you F off? You know? But yeah, I get it. It's all in your head.
That's it.
The bear is in your head. It's just a tiny little rabbit dog.
That's it. You've got to realise the kind of reality of the options you're taking. I mean, if you asking some chick out that's currently juggling knives and is about to blow someone's brains out, obviously you don't do that because it's scary and that woman's going to kill you.
Yeah, that's a genuine fear.
But most women aren't juggling knives and shooting you. I mean, so...
And if you are going for the woman who's juggling knives and shooting at you,
take a juggling knife course.
You may actually, take a juggling knife course. You may actually already be the king.
That's it.
Yeah. I want to be the guy confident enough to ask out the juggling knife, gun-wielding maniac chick.
Or at least have a conversation.
Or at least have a conversation.
You know, we don't have to go out.
No,
that's fine.
Yeah, that's pretty dangerous.
She's going to stand me up and blow the place down.
Yeah, I'm a king, not a dragon slayer. Anyway, I think we've said all the things that we need to say, and we're starting to get into a habit of repeating just to like hammer the point into you guys. Any questions about it?
Yeah.
Leave a comment. Anything that we haven't gone over properly, leave a comment.
I mean, even especially on the YouTube page, because that gives people. I mean, a lot of people have questions but don't ask them. If you have the courage to post a comment, then that gives people other opportunity to go, you know what, that's what I wanted to know. I want to ask more about it.
Yeah, and I've never once, even if it's a private message, I've received some private messages on the Facebook page, which is great.
Yeah.
But I've never disclosed who said what.
Of course. That's exactly
and I never will. And if you unless you specifically tell me, hey, look, tell people it was me, then I'm not going to say names.
That's exactly it. I mean, if you want to put a name to the question, you know, post it on Facebook, post it on YouTube, whatever. But, you know, feel free to send us private messages, you know, your questions, your comments, where you wanted to go, you wanted us to expand on something. That's what we're here for. That's what we're talking for.
Yeah.
I mean,
you see, we understand this topic, so we talk about it.
Yeah, we're still both becoming the king within ourselves.
Exactly.
You know, we just want to help people get more of a roadmap to get where they need to be, and that's important.
And
you want the road to be full of kings.
Yeah, that's it.
You know?
But I'm not sure if there's like one or two things that we didn't go into enough about, or some things we went too much into about. So if there's something you're still not completely convinced about, or still a little bit confused, send us a message.
It helps us. It really does.
It does. It helps improve the videos, and we'll either create a new video for you, or we'll send you a message and we'll sort it out for you, and we'll do a little explanation for you. Scott, is there anything? I know this is part one of the King Within You, so we're going to really, really build upon this great big idea after a couple of other introductory videos towards that idea. But until then, is there anything you would like to say about this topic?
I think it's all been explained. I mean, I'll summarize it just so we've got to make sure everyone's on the same page. I mean, obviously, it's a framework. We're talking about the concepts behind the King Within, which is basically a framework to overcome and be the best person you want to be that person you really want to be in life. So it's your choice to take up the mantle, to begin that journey to being the best person you can be, to be the stronger version of yourself, or whatever mantra or metaphor you want to use for that. And part two is going to be us explaining it in detail. It's going to be us going through, building a roadmap for you guys. So the concepts we've been talking about today, we can give you more detail. So give you a hand to get where you need to be. But you can begin now. There's nothing stopping you. You know, if you want to ask a lady out, but you're uncomfortable about it, that's okay. We're uncomfortable about a lot of things in life. And the people in those high positions, the people in power, the people who have really mastered themselves and are happy with where they are now, are the people who have made choices, who have taken chances and have just given it a go. It's not as scary as it appears to be. It never is. And choosing to take that chance is probably the best thing you can do with your life. And I 100% am behind you guys and girls with this. So I'm trying to do that. Will's trying to do this. We're all trying to do this together. And send us your positive things. Send us what you've tried to do. What your fears are.
Send us your failures, man.
Yeah, even better. Send us your failures. That's fine. If you want to, that's often the best way you can learn. And if there's something that happened to you guys that can help us too, we're happy to have a think about that and to share it with the group. That's what it's about. We're all in this together, and we've all got to become the king within. And the more we can talk about it, the better ideas we can have. I think that's about all we can really say.
Yeah.
For this video.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think next video we should talk about the ego. What do you reckon?
I think so too. I mean, the ego is important. A lot of your fears are rooted in the ego and it trying to protect itself by saying you'll look silly, don't do it, it's scary. And
I am you.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Part of it will be talking about a roadmap, like overcoming the resistance to taking the path and becoming the king within. And the ego can be a barrier.
Yeah,
a barrier
big time.
Big time barrier for a lot of people, including us.
I get it a lot.
Yes.
Every single morning I have to wake up and disassociate from my ego. You know, 7 times a day, and I find it helps. So I want to teach you guys how to do that.
Here we are. I mean, I haven't covered this concept with Will at all, so this will be something I'll be learning next video as well. So looking forward to it.
Mad. Can't wait. But honestly, guys, if you come up with a mad idea, let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll work around it. We'll work with it.
Send us a message. We'll include it in the next thing we talk about. if you want to make it public, and we'll credit you. Jeez, like put a comment on the Facebook post, on the YouTube video, or what have you, and that way we'll reference it. It's important. It's not just us discovering things out of the whole cloth. It's everyone coming together and helping each other get where they need to be, and that's the best thing about life. So I think we'll leave it there before we start rehashing everything we've already talked about.
Yeah. Signing off, huh?
Signing off. All right, this has been Think Tank. This is Scott, and this is Coughing Will.
And I'm having a coughing fit, and I'm Will. And it's always a pleasure. We'll see you next time, guys.
Catch you next time, guys.